So, are you a fan of aerial and mech combat with a dash of anime melodrama? Then I might just have the game for you. Hey, it's Anthony from TBN, and let's see if today's game's worth checking out in our latest episode of Should You Play Wing of Darkness? If you're new here, be sure to subscribe as we publish reviews on the latest games each and every week. Now onto the show. Wing of Darkness is a third-person flying mech shooter that has a very smooth, arcade-like feel to its controls. Although sadly, it does lack the grand-scale impact and flair of similar aerial warfare games like Ace Combat. But don't get me wrong, by no means is this game bad, it just has a couple of aspects that fall a little short of expectations. Let's take a closer look. The story in Wing of Darkness follows our two main protagonists, Clara and Erica, as they take on various missions to fight an alien threat known as the Blankers. And the one weapon capable of destroying them, called the HALD system, can only be operated by a select few quote-unquote exceptional young women, called Fräuleins. Why is that the case, you ask? Well, because anime, that's why. Regardless, the narrated storyboard cinematics and the in-game interactions between the two leads fits just right. They very quickly begin to grow and deeply care for one another, and there are some full-on emotionally charged scenes, especially towards the end of the game. Shoutouts to main actresses Kyuno Yasuno and Chihira Mochida. They do an amazing job portraying these characters. Oh, by the way, did I mention this is exclusively Japanese audio? Dub fans are gonna be angry. But back on topic, the actual story itself comes across as a little too uninspired for my liking. Doesn't help that the whole experience is only around 5 hours long, which does make the overall narrative feel rushed. Same goes for the gameplay. The mechs are fairly easy to master and feel very intuitive to control, but it does start to get a bit stale after a few chapters. Wing of Darkness basically just has you taking down a bunch of flying enemies and capturing opposition bases. By taking down enemies. So one or two extra mission types or some various limit break power-ups could have worked really well here. That being said, it is a joy to fly around, boosting over battlefields, unlocking onto enemies, while switching and firing two weapons at once. It's a simple yet satisfying take on the aerial warfare genre that anyone can get into. Each difficulty besides the hardest mode has a mech shield and ammo that constantly refills too. Plus, collision damage isn't a thing in Wing of Darkness, which means you can fly around just like Super Saiyan Sonic. Unfortunately, playing through the game's 6 chapters on normal difficulty wasn't really a challenge at all. Not once did I come close to dying, even on the highest possible setting. The biggest concern with Paradoxical mode, the hardest mode, is ammo conservation, which means you'll constantly be locking onto airborne enemies that love to zip and dart all over the place. And if you're a normal human being, expect to have a massive headache about 5 minutes in. Good thing is the HUD is straightforward enough for locating each of the hostiles, as well as reading your mech's vitals and weapon-related information. Nothing on screen ever gets too chaotic to focus. This includes the frame rate, which can dip a little when there's a ton of action happening on the Nintendo Switch. Although, most of the time, it's generally stable, hovering around 30 FPS. Presentation-wise, the main characters' mech designs are awesome and feature this futuristic aesthetic, but the same can't be said for the enemy vehicles. Since almost half of them don't have an actual physical model, you'll pretty much just be shooting at a target reticle. The ones that are visible feel like they belong on the PS2, taking away from the overall experience. What doesn't detract, however, is this game's music. Wing of Darkness has this stylish mix of genres like trance, hardstyle, breakbeat, and rock, which will definitely get you in the mood for some high-octane action. I'll admit, I did pause the game and start dancing around the room when I heard some of these tracks. The melodies and beats just have this unique flair to them and blend together so gracefully. With all that being said, should you play Wing of Darkness? Well, if you're into mech-type games and aerial combat, give it a try. Though don't be surprised if you reach the credits in one sitting, because this game is really short. There's a chapter select where you can try out all the different difficulties, but there honestly isn't much replayability here. The story is entirely linear and may not be for everyone, but the voice acting and music are ace. Overall, it falls short in a few aspects, but it's still a fun time regardless. Guys, if you enjoyed this vid, give us a thumbs up, and be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon next to it so you won't miss an upload. This really helps our channel grow too. For more third-person shooting, check out my comparison video on Mass Effect Legendary Edition, or visit thebetanetwork.net to read my full written review on Wing of Darkness.